then Savannah is like one of the most haunted cities in the world.
I know. I was going to say, then what's
ghosts are real people.
Well, what's that? What's the movie that came out? It's kind of more like a
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
No, it's a haunted movie where it was more recent. It's like 10, 12 years ago. Where the young lady is possessed. It's kind of like reality.
The Conjuring.
Which one is it, Sin?
The Conjuring.
No, not. It's a little bit before that.
Oh wow!
Cool. Oh wow, that's cool. Arturo, can you control that because it's a little far away from me to reach?
Yeah, I can do that.
That is perfect timing.
Is that with Amityville you could have left. This one I can't think of the name of the movie. It's just on the tip of my tongue. It doesn't matter where you go.
Who was in it?
Follows you. It was one of those low budget type movies that indie.
That's gonna bug me now.
Yes. So
I have no idea.
I'll have to look it up. Paranormal Activity.
Oh, that.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
Okay, so that movie essentially it takes the whole haunted thing and it means like you can't go anywhere. Basically, wherever you go,
it follows you.
It follows you. So that kind of it makes me think about the time that we spent in Savannah, outside of New Orleans, the most haunted place in all of existence. Yeah. Apparently.
Well, Savannah definitely. I don't know. Savannah was a weird town.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I ain't bring any of those heebie-jeebies with me.
Well, I think you're safe. You seem to be safe so far.
Yeah, I mean that's why I keep the old chunky monkey, even though he's on sleeping duty. They're supposed to be in tune to that stuff. So
yeah, so he's all cool. He's chill.
Yeah, that means we're okay. No ectoplasm around here in these parts. But listen,
okay. What?
Oh.
He's got a whole notebook.
It's so crazy too that they just released the Pat Bat today.
The Pat Bat. Oh yeah, that's right. Streaming. It's available streaming. Yeah. And some people like they had really been. Everybody's making a big deal out of the fact that it made $750 million, but the real expectation had been $1 billion. But the fact that they released it on digital much sooner than they released Spider-Man, I knew it wasn't going to get to $1 billion.
Right. Yeah.
It might have if they held off another bit.
I was actually surprised that they released it so early.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
They knew that we were going to do this live stream.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So
I had to do my homework.
Did you like it? Hey, did you like it? Did you like the new one?
Guess what? It's the third best Batman ever made.
Oh Lord!
Yeah,
that's right.
I thought it was great.
It's my third best too. But
but y'all first and second is clearly wrong according to the laws of physics and Mother Nature.
Step into that ring, battle the Batman. Here we go.
I wrote down a bunch of topics like different. I mean, this may end up being a big fat brawl, and we don't get anywhere. But I wrote down different things to talk about. Best Batman, obviously. Best Bruce Wayne. Best Batman suit.
Okay.
Best Batmobile.
Okay.
Best Batman villain. We could split that up into male or female, whatever. Okay. Best Batman tech and best Batman detective. As far as how detective-y he won. And I know who wins that one right away.
Can we throw best Batman Batcave in there as well?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
How can I share this link on my Facebook page?
I like, that's where
I
was going off of that Batmobile.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got it for you. I'll send it to you in Messenger.
Top 3: the Batman 2, the Dark Knight. Oh yeah, Terminator
3, the Batman.
The Batman, The Dark Knight, Terminator 2. Yeah, Terminator 2 is one of the best Batman movies ever made.
The top 3 DC movies of all time.
Oh my God.
DC Marvel movies of all time.
I got to go to my Discord and grab the link for you.
All right, Matt. Corey, go ahead. Why do you think the first Batman is the best?
Yeah, because we already know this is what you're going to say, and we're just going to have to yell over you because you're.
I just have to preface it to the people. Okay, I just want to preface it. I understand as a 40-year-old man that 9-year-old, 8-year-old Corey it's hard to remove that piece of my mind from this argument. So with that being said, I will try my best to literally just see it as 50-50 down the middle with the categories that have been laid out before us. Okay. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation. Okay.
Was it your idea or Matt's?
Mine.
It was Matt's idea. Okay.
Yeah. Then
This is all my idea.
Oh, it's all his idea. So glad you could join us, though, Corey.
I have
thought
no
for sure.
problem with acknowledging.
Do you want to make your case? Go ahead and try to make your case.
Now, you're right there.
This right off the bat, 89 Batman is numero uno in my opinion. And I want to say the main reason why I believe that, if I'm looking at it from a non-biased standpoint, is because I think even with Tim Burton's, and he's clearly known for his own style, it's the most like the comic material, in my opinion, to translate into reality. Understanding this movie was made in 1989. Okay. With that being said, and I'll throw the floor back to you guys, because that's my main thing, is I just feel
you think it's most true to the comics,
to the comic source, as far as bringing it into reality, into the real world. And before I pass it on, after seeing the Bat, or the Batman, as they like to call it in this day and age, the new kids, the younger generation.
Well, that is the official title.
It is the official title, but I think it's also called Bat. So that happens.
Hey, everyone.
After seeing this movie, and I apologize, my dog.
Is that your dog snoring?
Yeah, that's not because this conversation is boring.
No, I can't even hear him.
That's his bro.
I can hear him. He's really loud.
It gets worse than that. He's like,
Okay.
Okay. So with that being said, and this is the one point that I'll make before I pass it back to you guys. After watching The Batman, which came out clearly this year, there are so many similarities that I see from this movie that are, in my opinion, highly inspired. Not like Christopher Nolan, who? Joel Schumacher, what? This movie is so inspired by Tim Burton's Batman. It's ridiculous.
I don't know about that.
No.
I feel like it's inspired by the
I can go for
novel.
scene for scene. For scene.
No, the movie. Corey,
conversation they have on the staircase.
Corey.
Like, the two, you have the Penguin. All you gotta do is switch them. Penguin is talking down to the mobster in this movie, but in 89 Batman, the Joker's talking bad up to the mobster in that one. On the staircase with the columns. It's like, did you guys just resurrect it's the third best Batman, because he's clearly, Mr. Reeves is clearly inspired by one Tim Burton. That's all I'm gonna say. Go right ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, it's more inspired by Batman Year One.
Yes.
Nice shirt.
Yeah. Yes. Year One.
That to me earlier.
Okay, I get that. Go ahead. I'm not gonna.
Okay, so one of our watchers says that it felt a lot more influenced by the WB Arkham games, if anything. Totally, I didn't get a whiff of Tim Burton in this movie at all. I really didn't.
No. And you know what? I honestly, even though I have trouble buying him as a Batman, when he wears the Batman suit and it shows him his, when he fights and beats people up, he's really like brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think he's
not so polished as like the Batman from
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, like the Dark Knight. He's not so polished. He just like brawls.
Well, this one, I mean, if I've heard right, through different outlets, this is more the earlier
he's learning
career, or as the Batman. So I love that aspect. It definitely from the different sets, the vehicles, the gadgets, the suit, his fighting style, I mean, holy smokes, man! The way he enters is extremely awesome in this new one, right?
With the footsteps.
Yes,
but see him.
I mean, like him coming out of the dark. You didn't really see that in The Dark Knight too much. Like I think his, you know, that's another category we need to put on there: the music. And please tell me that somebody gonna be better than Danny Elfman. You're out your mind. You're out your mind.
Hey, didn't you
chalk that one up right now? Go ahead and chalk that one up right now, because you don't even know who those are on the other Batman. But we know who Danny Elfman is, right?
I think Corey McClavin needs to take the stage.
That's right.
The whole night.
Danny Elfman's number one. He should count for
right. Okay, Corey, you're channeling your little Panther character guy.
Yeah, I know, but that's because I'm passionate about this.
I was gonna say, didn't you like them using that Nirvana song?
Oh man,
wasn't that cool?
The fact that they used it, I thought I would get tired of it, but they used it at the beginning. I believe they used it towards the middle, and then they used it toward the end, and it really was. But outside of that, the music that they used whenever he was just showing up out of the shadows, just as you were saying,
it almost sounded like a Darth Vader theme.
Yeah, and he was, did you notice too that he was as the Batman in this movie was a lot spookier?
Yes.
To people when they saw him, like that scene when he was walking, it looked upside down because the penguin was upside down.
I love that shot.
He looked like a specter of some kind, you know.
Right. Yeah, and
but you know, I want to rewind back to what you were saying about the influence of Tim Burton. The only similarity that I do see is that when Tim Burton made that movie, it was very much like noir influenced.
Yeah.
And they did do a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
It was more of a contemporary type of style, but it was still had that noir type of feel to it, for sure.
Very much so. And maybe that's what I'm tapping into. It has
I can see that.
Dark.
Yeah, I can see that. But the noir in the Tim Burton Batman movies, it felt overpowered by the campiness.
Right. He did that on purpose.
I know, but now it doesn't work too well.
He did that on purpose. That was a stylistic choice he made.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that is in part because at the time, again, it's they can only really go by what they have at that moment. He's trying to pull in the Joker, and I can't. You'll know this better than I would. But I don't know if this is at this moment in the comics has the Joker like shot Barbara Gordon in the spine and stuff like that. So my point is that I felt as though Jack was trying to bring in a serious note to the Joker, but at the same time, still there's so much zaniness and so much, kookiness going on with the at that time. It's 1989, it's the 80s. They're coming off of Super Friends as well, I believe. That's kind of some of the material they're going off of. But at that time, year one was making a transition for Batman being a little bit more of a darker tone. And I think that's where Tim Burton was trying to pick up. I promise, if Tim Burton,
you got to remember this too. That was the time when the Batman comics, if I remember correctly, I mean, there might be someone out there that may know better than me, but I think that's about the time that in the comic books they started taking the character in a more grounded, like darker direction.
Yeah.
And then by the time he did his movie, that was kind of the way it was going. So he caught a little bit of that edginess, but then also maintained that campiness from almost like the TV show from way back.
I don't remember Batman being campy when I read him in the 80s, in the early 80s.
I think about like
if you like the old Justice League comics or like the Batman and Robin comics, they're pretty campy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that would go. I would say that type of Batman, and this is when he really had his. It was that color scheme of the almost like a lighter bluish tone. It wasn't really like a dark night. Early 80s, definitely from the late 70s, mid 60s. I just feel as though it was the Justice Friends, and there was still that kind of campiness that was kind of resonating around in the mid 80s. And then because I believe that 89 Batman had been in production, and back then movies took like, you know, a handful of years to make, and the script had been floating around since the mid to early 80s. And it wasn't until, might I add, my birthday, June 23rd, 1989, is when the movie came out. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm just saying these are facts.
This is why we pinned it. We know now why.
I'm just saying.
You're definitely biased.
The greatest movie in the world. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but these are just facts.
I think it does.
Again, I
still say
I think that dark noirness comes with both of them.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, one of the I was telling Cinema earlier today, one of the coolest scenes for me in movie history is that scene on the roof when those two thugs are up there and they just rob some lady.
Oh man!
And then they shoot him, and then they turn around, and he just kind of rises up from the back real slow.
And then, bam!
And they said, "What? What did they say? Quote it again."
Don't kill me, man! Don't kill me! Don't kill me, man! Don't kill me! I'm not gonna kill you. I just want you to go down to the local coffee shop and let everybody know that this pound
what
coffee is the greatest.
Okay, so there was.
I mean, Christian Bale did his like own style. Same with. Well,
I was going to touch on something that Simon had mentioned. He talked about how that Pattinson was a terrible Bruce Wayne, and that is something that I am seeing a lot of. Like there was no distinguishing characteristic between Bruce Wayne and Batman. They were all the same. They were both the same. I don't think he was a good Bruce Wayne. I mean, I don't think he was a great Batman. Personally, he did not win me over. The suit helped.
Fine.
Well, the suit helped compensate.
The suit was
but as Bruce Wayne, I do like the suit. I like that his little bat symbol was a knife.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I do not mess with no electricity unless it's in the wall, and I'm making that call because that would have.
All right. So why don't we just go ahead and just first of all, let's skip the best Batman movie for now. Let's skip to which do you think is the best Batman suit?
Oh man, this is where I think the Dark Knight series shines very well, because from a practical standpoint, and I think it's even more practical because I love the Batman, and as we were talking about, Pattinson's suit, taking all of those bullet shots, and sorry if anybody hadn't seen the movie, but like.
It was very
it's like
okay, Simon.
At some point, I mean, a shotgun, nobody is aiming towards his face. And if this is the early iteration of his character, that's a lot of firepower to take and him to just continue to walk through.
Walk it off, yeah.
With Christian Bale's suit, you see Morgan Fox. You see
Lucius Fox.
Yeah, sorry. You see him break down the technology that goes into that suit. You not just him talking about it, but just from like the reaction to the batarangs coming out of his gauntlets and stuff like that. Yeah. He talked about how the Kevlar is this type of material that nobody else on the world has, and you see Christian Bale work on it. I think that suit is, as much as I like to believe the 89 suit, I think the 89 suit really set the standard, because prior to that you had Christopher Reeves in
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I think the 89 suit,
oh hi Corey, long time no see, bro. Man,
oh my gosh, never get a word in.
I know. We're not
all right, I'm just gonna give up for the night.
No, this is a conversation for everyone. Everyone gets a word in.
I wanted to address what Arnold Schwarzenegger's Pump Addiction asked about the voice. What did we think of Pattinson's voice? Did you prefer it over Bell's? I think that's a good question.
I actually, personally, I'll just be speaking real quick. I think, and just watching the Batman, I think Pattinson, because it is again early in the career of Batman, it might be hard for us on the outside to, and I get it. I agree. That's something that I was like, man, he's like one in the same. There's no, differentiation between the playboy philanthropist and this dude he's got some mental issues going on here, but he's got a good heart. You don't see that, but I think it's maybe because it's early on in the Batman career, whereas with all the other Batmans, he's, basically been doing this outside of the, Dark Knight. You do see the transition, but it just seems like it's more of something.
Well, in Batman Begins, he was brand new. That was his.
Yeah.
That was his.
Yeah, right.
New, even newer than Pattinson.
Yeah.
Because don't we just start with year 2 or 1?
Year 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in his
That's
second
what I
year.
thought it
So
was.
I like Bale's voice better in the Batman Begins. Obviously, he went overboard in The Dark Knight and
I thought they
The
changed his
Dark Knight
voice a
Rises.
little bit.
They did some stuff to his
Yeah,
voice,
like
but I
that's
thought
not-
I really liked his voice in Batman Begins.
Yeah, or the video game.
Well, I personally think that the voice that Ben Affleck had was the best one, with where I had a
Oh,
synthesizer
like a
on it
voice
that kind of
changer or
disguised his
something.
voice a little bit.
Yeah, that's.
I thought that was
true.
pretty cool. I also think that was the best suit of
I agree.
all of them created.
Yeah.
Even better than Pattinson's.
Even better, because
Really?
and you know what? The reason is because when you watch him
Which
in that
one, the
suit,
armor suit or the regular suit?
Yeah,
the regular suit.
okay.
So when you watch him in that suit on
Processing.
film,
Uh-huh.
and the way his muscles are kind of look more anatomically correct rather than just armor,
Mhm.
it's more reminiscent of the comic book, like just this heavily muscled dude in a suit.
Right.
Something tight. And I don't know, I think it was that I thought was really unique about it.
Well, I really liked
Should
that
have had,
part
like,
on
little-
his suit that could absorb the energy.
Yeah,
And in
yeah.
the Snyder cut,
Yeah.
and he was absorbed. I love that aspect of it. Thought it was really cool.
And again, I think that movie was terribly underrated.
Yeah.
Which
no,
one, Snyder cut or Batman versus Superman?
Well, the Snyder cut was terribly underrated.
I love it.
I thought it was great. Number one, I also thought Man of Steel was good,
Yeah.
and I thought
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman was pretty good. But
I
there
love it.
was
I didn't have a
there
problem
was
with that one.
I don't know, some of that stuff at the end was kind of little like.
Yeah,
See, it
once
didn't
once
bother me.
Doomsday for me, once Doomsday showed up, I was checking
Yeah,
out.
I know.
like I feel like that Doomsday was kind of terrible.
It
didn't bother me.
It didn't, like, I think from a character design standpoint, he's more stoic in the TV series, the animated series. He doesn't have too much movement.
This thing seemed more like an animal rather than like.
Yeah,
You know what
it
I
just
mean? It
seemed like
wasn't
he was
like-
more. Darkseid does not. His whole thing with the stare thing. It's because he doesn't have to move. It will follow you. And I
You're
think
talking about Darkseid,
No, Darkseid's different from Doomsday.
not Darkseid, Doomsday.
Doomsday's the one that killed Superman in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
That creature thing
Well,
that was
alright.
created by Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Use Zod.
He used Zod
His
DNA and
DNA.
created the Doomsday.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so you guys aren't talking about Darkseid?
No,
He
no,
wasn't.
no. I was
Oh,
talking about
okay.
Doomsday.
Oh, okay, right. The one.
Yeah,
that-
Doomsday didn't seem to reflect the original in any way. Like he just seemed more like an animal or something. And it was just kind of
Right. Yes, totally agreement with that. Yeah. You know, and then the whole way that Doomsday came about was nowhere near.
No,
Yeah.
it
See,
wasn't.
and I don't know anything.
It's
All
canon.
I knew about Doomsday was that he killed Superman in the comics. I didn't know anything about him at all. So when I saw that, it didn't bother me too much. And
Right.
also,
Like, guess
I
the
do.
people that read the comics would probably be disappointed.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to say that I did notice that it is very reminiscent of Rorschach from The Watchmen.
The intro VO.
The
voiceover.
voiceover of the Batman, his
Oh.
narration at the beginning.
Okay, yeah,
It did remind me of that.
yeah. But you know what? Too that's another thing you see in like a lot of those old crime noir movies is you have that the detective like narrating over the
narration, yeah.
beginning of the film.
The
and-
dame came walking into my office, and I knew she was trouble from the start.
Wow, the cliche as it gets right there.
Exactly.
Did we already address the worst Batman though? Right, Batman and Robin. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
I know we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
That is hands.
Okay.
I mean,
will-
even the old black and white one is better than.
it
I
is.
would much rather
Batman-
watch the
Batman
Adam
and
West one 30
Yeah.
times over. Okay.
From the
But
bat
it
car
doesn't
to the
have
bat
fun with
skates to the
Arnold-
airboards to
Arnold
the ice
Schwarzenegger.
skates. It was
I mean, they even had like butt shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can agree that Arnold's puns, right?
Oh well, we knew that.
Hey,
already.
Matt. How were the other dinosaurs killed?
The Ice Age.
No.
That's like about the third time he's quoted that the whole time he's been here lately.
Oh my god, I love it. It's the best. And it's funny because Matt does such a really good impersonation of it.
He does too. He even does it really good.
We saw Predators at the Philly Comic-Con. They were walking around, and I was gonna go run up to them and be like, "Come on, kill me! I'm here. Do it."
You should have.
I love that.
Or you should have walked up to one and be like, "You are one ugly mother."
That's right. So Tim, Corey made his case for why obviously he thinks the 89 Batman is the best movie ever. He's severely outnumbered.
I would
on this
imagine.
panel.
Yes,
But he's
panel,
done pretty,
not with the universe.
he's held his own pretty well.
I mean, obviously, if you're gonna go straight comics transition to movie, it was pretty good for what it was, because I mean, you had Jack Nicholson literally portraying the Joker really close to how silly he was.
But he had that Richard Romero influence.
How more crazier can you be?
Oops, sorry, Arturo.
Never touch another man's rhubarb.
Oh yeah, Simon. That's the line that tickles Dad so much. I think that was the one that won.
I thought the one
my favorite line. My favorite line was when he reads the paper and he sets it down. And he's like, "This town needs an enema."
That's what I was gonna.
That's my favorite one.
That's where I was gonna go. That's what I thought too.
Batman and Robin was just Joel Schumacher's
homoerotica. That might be the case.
It was. Hey, you know, somebody said something in a forum. They're like, "Well, if you look at Joel Schumacher's, like there was a lot in the subtext." And somebody's like, "Well, explain what the subtext is." And they're like, "Well, butt sex is a anagram of subtext." And somebody was like, "That's a good point."
Oh Lord, oh, jeez.
I thought it was pretty funny because I never even thought about it.
Oh, that's true.
That's
true. That's right. Danny Elfman and Prince. The music is
I don't know.
Batman. Hands down. You're not even in that category.
I liked Hans Zimmer's score. I liked the score in this one. I really did. It sounded very muscular. But I really liked the theme of Batman from the Nolan trilogies. I really like that theme.
I mean, Hans Zimmer's a really good composer.
And you hear it a lot in the chase scenes. I'm not even going to try to imitate it now.
It's like always building.
Yeah,
in a lot of scenes.
Dun 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 dun. It just, I love it. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
so
I thought he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but let's just be 100% transparent, okay? And I'm throwing a cog into y'all's little argument here about voice. Kevin Conroy, I think, has one of the best, and I know he's animated.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to touch on animated. I do agree he's got one of the best voices.
His voice.
He came in for like an episode of a crossover.
Yeah,
where he was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. There's too many Batman things to branch out to, so I was trying to just keep it to the movies. But I do agree his voice is excellent. He has a perfect Batman voice.
And one more thing with 89 soundtrack, it is so like the theme, like it also transferred into, and I'm not trying to bring in this other aspect, but it's still very important for the lore and how big and important 89 Batman is. Because of 89 Batman, you get the animated series, and because of the animated series,
the song too.
Even the song,
the song is basically ripped from the movie, and then it's that series, I think, kind of helps get rid of the Joel Schumacher, and I don't want to crap all over Schumacher. He has had some.
We can.
Standing Tall just posted it. Okay?
He's made a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
Falling Down? You mean Falling Down?
Yeah.
Oh, like Schumacher did that?
Yeah, I think it was one of his last good movies. But he also did Lost. He did Lost Boys too.
Lost Boys.
Best vampire movie ever.
One of my favorite movies of not just from the 80s, but it's a really good movie. But, I think the 89 Batman and then Batman Returns, even though Tim Burton didn't direct that one, I think he was just more the executive producer of that.
Are you sure? I thought he directed that one.
I thought he was heavily involved in it as well.
I think
Which
he's
one?
heavily
The
involved
Batman
in
and
it.
Robin?
No,
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he directed
He
that.
might have
I
directed
think
that one.
that's
And
the
then
second
he was
one. Yeah, I
involved
think
in
he
the-
directed
he was
it.
involved in the
I'm
Schumacher
checking. Yeah, directed by Tim Burton right now.
Yeah.
That movie smells way too much like Tim Burton not to have been
He
directed by
did
Tim
direct that
Burton.
one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he was executive producer. He was involved with the Schumacher one, so he didn't lead.
He may
that
have been,
franchise.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think
he
it was
might have been
Schumacher who
attached.
kind of derailed the live action franchise, but it was because of the animated series.
Schumacher.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Used to call him Joel Shitmaker after Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
But one of my favorite lines from the Batman Returns was near the end where you got Christopher Walken standing there, and then he pulls off his mask and he rips it and he's talking to Kyle, and he's like, Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up like Batman? and she's like, because he's Batman, you moron.
Yeah, she had this little smirk on her face.
That was
I believe how stupid he
was one of the best lines in the movie.
Why are you dressed up like Batman?
I gotta say, I know it's kind of changing the bit, but she was a pretty good Catwoman. Wouldn't you say?
I
Michelle
liked her.
Pfeiffer
Catwoman.
Yeah,
or,
I liked her as that. I liked her.
Michelle
as
Pfeiffer.
I liked her.
Michelle
as-
Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
There was a behind the scenes of her, and there's that scene in the mall where she's like cracking all the heads off the mannequins with the whip, and that was really her. And she did it. She did
You
it
had to
like
learn how to trick that whip.
and every last one she did it like flawless, 100%. Hit every last one of them one
That's
by
crazy.
one. It was
She
pretty
still
cool.
has that.
She
She still has
has
that
that
whip
whip.
too. She was doing an interview with somebody, and
Really?
yeah, and the girl asked her about it, and she got up, she went to her closet, and she brought the whip out, and she, she's trying to crack it again, but she's like, it's been however many years since she had,
30.
done that. It's been a long time. I don't know when the
90
interview was.
92 is when the movie
Yeah,
came out.
I don't know
No,
when the
she
interview
was cracking it,
She
and
was
then
cracking
she
it,
was
but
like,
did it
she
hit
said
her? I
something
can't
like
remember.
because she might hurt herself by
Yeah.
accident.
I'm not trying to throw any shade at her. It's because she was awesome in that movie. But it's one thing that I noticed, and I noticed it as a youngster in that scene when she first pops in. You see her. The suit is awesome. It's awesome, and she's got these like stiletto heels on, and she does like the skip to Malou.
Oh yeah, the jumper.
And I believe she does a flip as she's coming out, and she gets down and she does the meow, and then it explodes. If you look closely, those heels are gone.
They're gone by then.
You ain't flipping in them damn heels. No. Ain't nobody flipping in damn 6-inch stilettos. Not no damn 7 flips outside.
They were hoping you wouldn't notice.
No, oh man, I noticed. I was like,
well, of course, Corey noticed. Corey's a very big Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman stan right there.
Man, that woman. Meow.
They would do the same thing like in the Wonder Woman TV show when she'd be in her boots, and then when she'd be running, they were flat.
Hey, I ain't
stuff like that. You'd see.
We're gonna keep it PC. I'm bringing the men in this. In the Hulk show, whenever Lou Ferrigno is running his ass,
see him have slippers on.
He have on kids, green kids on.
Yep.
That man ain't barefooted.
Yeah, he said he refused to run without shoes. He said he refused to run without shoes.
You can see them.
I know. You see him flopping all around.
Running down the dirt.
You always expect to be wearing a bathrobe.
Like, how in the hell the Hulk got time to go to Payless? That don't make any sense.
Okay, so we know that Corey's absolute favorite is Batman 1989. What about you, Matt?
Mine has to be Batman Dark Knight, the Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns?
Or The Dark Knight Rises.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
with Bane? With Bane?
I mean, no, the one with Joker.
I feel like Matt doesn't know what he likes.
That's what I mean. My
I like
favorite
Batman
one is
Begins, The Dark Knight Rises.
Whatever.
Yeah, The Dark Knight.
There's so many of them. The one with Heath Ledger.
Yes. So I'll get this out of the way. That's my favorite too.
I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
Period. Because it encapsulates that character fully immersed in that city with what's going on. you get a complete grasp of his character matured. You know, he's been doing it for a while. The acting is good, especially from Heath Ledger. The story was great. I think of
Simon. Sorry.
Tell me, you have
Catwoman outfit. You know it's real.
Exactly.
Corey's like,
you friggin' weirdo.
To me. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
But and the suit, I think, even though it's not my favorite suit, I think it was pretty cool because it looked functional.
He could turn his head.
I heard he had a hard time with the fursuit. Like it was uncomfortable.
He did.
And he had
it
to
hurt his
turn
neck
like
a lot.
He told Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck met him one time, and he said, "Hey, do you have any advice for me for playing Batman?" And he goes, "You tell them to get you a zipper. I did 3 films without a zipper."
Oh my gosh!
What a mess to have to take off every time you.
I think that Heath Ledger's Joker was just perfect because you could feel like you almost like radiated crazy.
Yeah, and you did not know what he was going to do next. I was telling Matthew that when I knew when it really hit me how good he was when the scene where he goes in and he's talking to the mobsters and he does the pencil thing. I was like, holy crap, this guy.
But you know, also too, the theme that showed up in that movie a lot, if you pay attention, is this dichotomy of chaos and order. So you know how Alfred says some men just want to watch the world burn. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, you think, like, is that just what he wants? Like, is he just want to just be destructive or what? But even so, he's very methodical and planning everything out. So it seems chaotic, but it's also very planned, everything. So I thought that was interesting.
I was reading an article too regarding like the layers of the movie in general, and it has one where it's basically comparing Bruce Wayne as he shows up and the Joker when he shows up, and Bruce Wayne enters dramatically. He gets a drink, and then he asks for Harvey Dent, right? And then the same thing with the Joker. He comes in dramatically, shoots the gun, grabs a drink, doesn't drink it, wants to know where Harvey Dent is. So it was like comparing the two of them as they enter. I thought it was kind of a neat little thing that somebody kind of analyzed in how the movie was done there.
I think too, like another thing, that the story itself beats Batman 1989.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot more complex.
The little social experiment at the end, that made me really
fitting for today, I guess you would say.
Yes.
More realistic.
I think, and it's not to say that like those subjects weren't prevalent back in 89, but I think you have more material to kind of pull from as time goes by. I think, and I'm not trying to speak from like an actor's standpoint, but I think evolution of the craft in that field leads.
Hey, no!
I'm just gonna have a sip.
You already
a lot of things. The other thing was that the comic book movies were considered a joke, so no one really took them serious. So it was just like, hey, these are going to be like candy films, and just like that's all they're going to be is fluff. You enjoy them, you watch them once, and it's over, and it's not something you revisit. And it was groundbreaking at the time when it hit out. It made like $250 million, which it set a record for itself. And then as time went on, people, the directors or Hollywood rather, realized, hey, you know what, people really are latching on to these kind of movies. And then it wasn't until like the late 90s and into 2000s when they started taking them serious as projects and getting some real funding behind them. And then also, again, going deeper to create a really thought out screenplay. Because I mean, when you watch the movie, it's like tossed together. Like 89 is just tossed together with what's going on.
Right.
There's nothing really other than them going, oh, this is when the Joker, oh, he falls on acid. It's kind of this like lame, how they kind of had their origins together.
Well, one thing I didn't like was
I didn't like the fact that they had the Joker be the one that killed his parents. I thought that
I was getting ready to bring that up. I was like, I didn't remember the Joker being the one that killed his parents in the comics. Yeah. That was a different twist.
I don't know. Was he ever? I don't remember.
I don't think so. It was Joe Chill. I thought that was always the guy. Just some.
I don't remember now. But for movie telling purposes, it makes sense for them to do that.
Right. And I think, I mean, and again, that's why I try to preface it's 1989, and I know that is going to be reflective. The movie is going to reflect heavily of that time in a lot of aspects. But with the Joker's origin, I think you don't get an origin in the Christian Bale one.
No, you don't.
He tells
you different stories, and you don't know which one is real.
You don't know what, so I mean,
I like the theories are actually kind of interesting when people like have these theories about where he came from, saying that he actually was probably like an Afghanistani a military member that went to Afghanistan and came back with PTSD, and that's why he's familiar with weapons. He knows how to do certain things, setting explosive fires, and that kind of has like a little element to it that was kind of cool. I like the fact that it didn't really delve crazy into this. How did he become to be? You see that he's just crazy,
right? And I think again, I try to bring in the inspiration as much as possible and try to let it be prevalent into what we're talking about. And I love Heath Ledger's performance in I forgot which the title of Batman Begins.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight tomorrow. If I'm saying that's his interpretation, then yes. But if I'm saying that is that, maybe with the years that have gone by, there are bits and pieces of that Joker. But to me, that is totally, and there's nothing wrong with it, but that is totally like his take on that character. And that's kind of some of the issue that I have. I love this Batman. This is why it's the third best Batman that's ever been made. And I love this Riddler. But this movie is so wanting to be so serious. And I think that's why I love Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker more so than Heath Ledger's. And there are some comedic parts in there. Him leaving the hospital after seeing
and that whole deal, like where he was doing the detonator and it wasn't working, and he kept, that was a blooper. Like that was all.
And I give him credit. That's comedic genius. But again, his Joker is just, it's awesome, but it is very sadistically serious. Whereas if you were to take that paint off of his face, I would say that he's almost, and don't put him in purple, I'd say he's a crazy psychopath.
Well, they did take the paint off his face. Hi, Chris. They did in the funeral scene.
Right. Yeah. When he's supposed to.
And he still had the dragon nasty scars.
Type thing. Yeah.
Want to hear how I got these scars?
Okay, so Corey, what's your second best? The second best.
Wasn't it Returns?
I mean,
it's a Returns.
I'll be 100%. 89 is my favorite.
I knew that one.
Really, like, after seeing, and it's so soon, and the movie is almost 3 hours long. Yeah, maybe it's because I like serial killer type movies. I like the noir. I like the Seven. Those types of movies are. Yeah, I like that type of genre. This one really kind of, there's some things I can definitely nitpick, but I mean, let's go down the list. The Batmobile, the Tumbler is awesome. The Tumbler just would never in the real world would never make sense. That's not like, and the Batmobile here to me seems more logical and
more functional. I like that one. I like that Batmobile.
I love 89 Batman with a giant turbine engine in the middle of the damn thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Hey, it looked like a train.
Yeah,
it looked like a train.
Oh, the 89 Batman, yeah.
And also, Mr. and Mrs. You guys love your Christopher Nolan. The Batman Bat Pod. I liked it the first time when it was called the Bat Torpedo. How many more Batman movies want to rip off 89 Batman? Everybody want to rip off Tim Burton.
What do you think about this question?
But all the Batmans in a cage fight together, no weapons or gadgets. Who is the last Batman standing?
I'd
have to say Ben Affleck's Batman.
That's what I was going to say. Probably Ben Affleck. He
straight up killed people. He keeps
physically powerful, and he's a big dude.
Yeah, and he's older too. He's seen more.
They ranked the sizes, and he was I think 220 something pounds.
He's 6'2".
Yeah, but he's like 220 pounds based on the movie, and Christian Bale's was a close second at like 210.
Yeah, I was going to go Christian Bale, but I think the seniority of
George.
He
goes down. He does go down first.
Yeah.
Followed by Robert Pattinson.
How about George Clooney just wait on the side if they need a doctor?
He used to play an ER.
Yeah.
I think it was ER he's playing.
Yeah, it was ER.
See, I don't even think of. I'm not even remembering or thinking about Adam West right now. Yeah, Adam West would be the first. Then George Clooney.
Yeah, I don't know. Adam West has that old school like bare knuckles to fight people thing. As he's born in probably like the 20s.
Oh God, you remember that? Are you doing that episode? Remember that episode? He does that.
Yes.
And he mesmerizes.
Gosh.
I didn't know Tom Waits was in that movie.
No, he based his performance on.
No. He says Bram Stoker's Dracula so it was interesting to compare Tom Waits' performance as Renfield in that movie. I didn't know that Tom Waits was in that movie.
Wait, what does he even look like? I don't have my phone. What
he
does
looks like a goblin.
Yeah.
Oh, the country singer.
He kind of looks like.
I thought he based his performance on some gypsy guy.
No, he was the dude with Van Helsing, right?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I don't remember.
I'm thinking.
I thought he was the guy that ate bugs.
I'm thinking of Bale.
No.
Bane. I'm thinking of Bane.
Tom Waits. He was in Mystery Man. He was the guy that came up with all the funky weapons. He's a
musician.
He's a musician too. He looks kind of like a combination of Hoggle and Keith Richards.
Exactly.
I am not picturing his face at all, so I don't know.
Hoggle and Keith Richards.
Well, I know what those two look like.
That's what Tom Waits looks like.
Okay,
Tim. Your light is flickering behind.
Yeah, something is exploding.
I think you got a haunted house.
Uh-oh, Corey.
Paranormal activity coming out.
I didn't realize he based his performance off of Tom Waits.
I guess if I knew that, I forgot. So Tim, what's your favorite Batman then?
I'd still have to be in the majority here. I think The Dark Knight was probably my favorite. It's obviously the one that I've probably seen the most over the years, despite watching '89 Batman several times growing up. I think I've seen The Dark Knight more. But I mean, if we're gonna like parse things and get down like into seconds, I think Batman Begins and The Batman are like on par with how much I liked both of those. They're
really,
yeah, I think so. They come in like a nice close second between the both of them.
Yeah, I've got Batman Begins edging out the Batman.
I mean, I've only watched the Batman once, and I kind of want to watch it again. But a couple things that I thought were interesting was obviously we know it's supposed to be his second year in. He's kind of learning things as they go, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when he enters the Iceberg Lounge 3 times. Right. And he goes in the first time and he goes in as Batman, just beats the crap out of everybody.
Yeah.
But again, as he's learning things as he goes along, when he shows up as Bruce Wayne the next time, it's like he learned, hey, you know what? I've kind of come out of the dark, and as a billionaire celebrity, he realized that his face itself can open doors for him and he can get into places just off of being Bruce Wayne alone, right? He doesn't have to be Batman to force his way in. Then the third time he enters in there, he sneaks in. So it's like this progression of I beat my way in, I used my popularity to get my way in, and then kind of like the third was I'm entering like a stealthy assassin. And
how did he enter that third time?
He gets them to open the door and he sneaks in real quick when they weren't looking. The two twins. Okay. But I thought it was kind of interesting the transition of he comes in forceful, he comes in quiet, like peaceful, and then he sneaks in. And it was just this kind of arcing of him learning what he can and cannot do as Batman overall. Like I said, I don't know if that was intentional, but I thought it was kind of funny that
I bet it was.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because multiple people have mentioned the different ways he went into the Iceberg Lounge.
Oh, okay. All right. It was just something that as I was watching, I thought I was like, that's funny. He beat himself in one time. Then he demands entry, and they let him in, and then he sneaks in the last time. But yeah, I like the tone of that movie, with that kind of gritty noir.
Oh man,
because I like noir kind of stuff
dark,
anyway,
yeah.
but it just had that really grim setting. And I think I told you even before, like as Shazam is Captain Marvel, my favorite superhero, I was hoping when they released the Shazam movie that it would be dark, it would be gritty, and just have this real super serious tone. And it was just too comical, and it was like upsetting as I watched the movie, especially when it went to Act 3, which people seem to love that part of the movie when he splits his power between everybody. I myself was like, this is the end of it for me.
The power of Shazam Ranger.
Yeah. It's just it was so campy, and I've read the New 52. I've seen that, and I know that's what happens. And so as it was building up, I was thinking to myself, I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. And then it does, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah, I was lucky I didn't have any sharp objects around.
I don't know what they're working at.
Done some damage. But
yeah, I felt like Shazam ended up being like a crappy Disney movie at the end.
Yes,
it was just not good.
It started out really good, and it had its funny moments, and it had that dark kind of ambiance near the beginning when Savannah was kind of having his go with showing up and then getting the 7 deadly sins and stuff. But then as soon as he meets him outside with the bus and everything, it flipped 180 and became super terrible. But again, back to the Batman and Batman Begins. I like the origin story of Batman Begins. I really do. I like how he went to the League of Shadows. I like how he got all his armor. He learned how to fight. And everybody. The big argument is that people want to stick to canon. Batman doesn't kill, and then everyone's like, oh, Bale never killed. And I was like, yeah, he did actually. Right, he's at the League of Shadows, and they want him to assassinate the guy. He's like, I won't kill anyone. I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner. Then he starts a fire. He kills like 60 people within seconds. I was like, man, he forgets so quickly. But I really do like Batman Begins.
I always played the video game.
I really like that. I think that video game plays a lot into the Batman, the one that came in. Not a lot, but I can see the inspiration.
The design.
Yeah. Just the way that he enters these scenes, and it's not. He does the cliche. You turn around and he's gone all of a sudden.
Where's the commissioner?
It's just the tone is of grittiness, and I think the movie is so long because there's a lot of slow motion. You're just staring down a corridor, you're waiting for him to make steps, and I always say a movie that is long but you don't notice it has to be a good sign. And again, I think it's like 252 or something like that.
I noticed the Batman was long. I felt like it was about 20 or 30 minutes too long.
Yeah, they could have definitely, edited.
And the final act with the final big climax, with what the Riddler had planned, it was so anticlimactic for me.
It was.
I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Hey,
okay.
Before I forget,
I didn't realize.
Corey, before I forget, did you know who else was up for the role to play Batman in 1989?
Yeah.
Tim knows. I can see it in his face.
Wait, no. I honestly, if I know, I've forgotten. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Bill Murray.
Oh,
Bill Murray was potentially up for the role playing Batman. No. And then they ended up casting Michael Keaton, which even for him was like, because I think traditionally was more of a comic, like a comedic.
Yeah,
actor.
Mr. Mom and Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but, and when he cast Michael Keaton, everybody was like, this didn't seem like.
Yeah, I remember the skepticism about Michael Keaton.
But he was good.
He won me over. People said there was a lot of skepticism about Heath Ledger, but
there was at the beginning. I remember.
I don't remember.
People. I guess they didn't.
Because I was never
think of him as being crazy. But I wasn't either. But I remember there was people like, what? Heath Ledger.
I know that there's a lot of skepticism for
Pattinson more.
Pattinson. And I'm with you, Sin. Like, I think again, it is hard to see the differentiations between Bruce Wayne and Batman in the Batman, but I think that a lot of that has to do because he's still young, he doesn't even want to deal with the aspects of being Bruce Wayne. Alfred's making all kinds of appointments and stuff, and he is like, oh, why the hell you got? I'm over here trying to holler at the cat lady. You over here making appointments and stuff, like he doesn't.
Well, maybe ages out of that self-loathing and puts on a fake face to be Bruce Wayne down the road.
That's what I think. I think
that's how Batman Begins was. It like you saw him like on a dime, like playing.
He always was completely different.
Yeah, and he shows up with these girls at the party, and then he sees Katie Holmes like leave, right? And he's just like laughing and giggling. And as soon as she walks by, like his face changed, and he's like, oh, like because he knows he's playing a part. And I've said it many times, like when it comes down to it, like I liked Christian Bale's. I thought his Batman is good, okay, but in my opinion, I think that Ben Affleck's Batman was better, and then I think Bale's Bruce Wayne was really good, and I think Affleck's Bruce Wayne was so it was like this. When are we going to get somebody who plays an awesome Batman and an awesome Bruce Wayne on both? Because it basically is Two-Face. You have to play two different roles, and Pattinson was the same. And I think one of my only like biggest gripes was like the very end of the movie when he's like helping everybody out of the stadium. I thought that was kind of lame. that was like the worst part for me because it was like this kind of like the sun's rising and it just seemed like all like Batman's giving like this big symbol of hope to everybody, and I was like no, he just needs to always be terrifying.
To me, it's not even close. It is not even close. We're talking about Mr. Mom here.
Oh no.
Flipping cool. And I'm sorry, but Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah, and did you ever
What the hell did he just say? I think Batman wants you to tell him something. I don't know what he's trying to ask you. I think he might be throwing up. He might have had a waffle. I don't know. Maybe he found a hair in the waffle. I don't know. He's throwing up something. Does the bat suit come with a throw up bag?
Batman had COVID before.
Don't tell me that Christian Bale was a good, very Playboy-esque Bruce Wayne. But Batman, stop it. If he had if Batman had me like this, I'd be like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
Oh my God.
Stop it, bro. You ain't intimidating nobody.
Okay, that's how I felt about Pattinson in the scene with the Riddler. When he's supposed to be, completely losing his cool and banging the glass. What have you done? And it reminded me of the Joker and the Batman scene in The Dark Knight. And I was like, dude, you're not convincing me. That the way he like tried to yell and be all tough, I was like, oh, that's so cringy. Doesn't work for me.
I completely, totally understand, and I'm with you on that. And that's why outside of
what's going on
with the suit,
little kids going on.
The best Bruce Wayne is Michael Keaton. If we're talking about Batman and Bruce Wayne is at the party. He's hanging out, chilling. He's like, he basically had Knox and Vicky Vale thinking that he was some Joe Schmo. And then he's like, guess what? I own this whole house. Alfred, get 20 more bottles for commissioner. No, that's not that. Make it 40. Yeah, these suits of armor. Yeah, they belong.
You gotta take
right now.
You gotta take everything into account. Like,
and then
like
2 seconds later, he goes to his back cave and he's being all creepy. And he's watching them. He knows how to split it.
You're off the air. Nobody can hear what you're saying anymore. No, nobody can hear you, Corey.
He straight up got muted.
Wait. Who muted him?
Listen, the light is telling me that I'm winning this conversation.
Oh, Corey,
your house is having a seizure.
Corey, you were muted for a lot of that.
Bring in the views.
That was actually really funny to just watch you carrying away and we couldn't hear a
Because
thing.
it's funny, but it's the truth.
No.
Michael Keaton is the best. He's the best of both worlds. Sorry.
No.
You got,
but if you're going over,
I know you guys want to say it. The fact that Ben Affleck had to have a dadgum, what is those Smokers Express things? And my name's Batman. It's just as bad as Christian Bale. Stop it.
No, it sounded good.
Is like,
it sounded good because
than
he
the
didn't
other
even have
side
to
of a
try.
pillow. He is the man.
He didn't even have to try, and it would convincingly disguise his voice.
Listen,
it makes sense. It makes sense.
I'm just saying.
He didn't have to worry about trying to talk real tough or anything. The machine did it for him, and he could focus on fighting crime.
Well, I mean,
he didn't have to worry about laryngitis or anything.
Neither did Michael Keaton. He just basically was like, he was able to flip it like Two-Face. He can go from being the playboy to being Mr. Don't look at me. I'm going to turn away from you with my whole body because I can't move my neck.
That's exactly how he turned in the movie.
That is. It is.
Cat's malfunctioning life.
Oh, sorry, Arturo. Okay, sorry. I was trying to look at
Hey.
And what about like the overall aspects of all the movies, like all the characters involved? Like when you had the commissioner from the 1989 Batman, it was like the worst Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
He was so bad. He was so bad. I don't even
remember what
was that guy's name?
Oh, he was that guy from Larger Than Life. Remember?
Oh, what was that guy's name? He's got a weird name.
Don't even remember who he was.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's terrible.
I know he was actually like been in a bunch of stuff prior to.
And then Lando Calrissian played Harvey
Dent. Yeah. Okay, so I think best Detective Gordon is without a doubt Gary Oldman.
I like
Pat
Hingle.
Try to argue.
Pat Hingle. That's who it was.
I don't know what I can't picture his face in my brain now.
You know who he is.
I'm sure I do. If I saw his face, I would know who he is.
No, I definitely
Batman is a menace.
That swear to me line was beastly though, Corey. You have to admit, I did like that line when he said that.
Swear to me.
I like that.
The meme of him like punching somebody, and he's like, "Where are the drugs? Boom! Where are they?" And then he goes, "Batman, best detective ever."
I'll get to the bottom of this. One way or another.
All he does is just beat him up. Where are they? Where are they?
He was not a good detective. The best detective Batman was the Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think again.
So if you say they do sequels to the Batman, like what would you say? I think and I haven't seen like or read the Court of Owls storylines. I don't know if you have either, Matt or Corey. That or
I've only read a little bit of it.
Or maybe the Hush, like just him dealing with Hush.
Yep, I've seen Hush.
Okay, those would be two that I think would be cool to see kind of come to the screen.
I would love out of those two because, and spoiler alert, but Hush revolves around the Riddler, correct? I think
he's involved one way or the other. Yeah.
He's involved, but
from involvement there, and you could, because it's coming from, you're just finishing off this storyline featuring the Riddler. I would love to see the Court of Owls like that.
That'd be cool.
Is it me or was the Batman the only time we got the a realistic lunatic Riddler? Because Jim Carrey, he just played the Riddler as
I didn't like Jim Carrey's portrayal. I did like Paul Dano's portrayal until his mask came off, and then I was so underwhelmed. I was like, "Oh man!"
Now Paul Dano.
Put the mask on.
Just to interject, Paul Dano, real quick. He actually is helming or writing a book based on his Riddler, and it's like Riddler Year One, and it's supposed to be everything of him planning up until Batman,
until the events of
the Batman. But apparently he's helming is writing the script.
That's interesting.
And they posted up a picture of it the other day on Reddit. I saw, and I was like, well, it's interesting he's involved in it and taking it further.
What were you expecting when he took his mask off?
He was just underwhelming to me.
The Riddler, that's the thing. He's supposed to be underwhelming.
Oh, but he just
that's what I like. I would agree with Matt because I feel like I could see someone.
You guys felt like you could see him, but I wanted somebody that was going to creep me out, and he didn't.
Yeah, no, his Ave Maria was
supposed
so
to
weird.
look.
He creeped me out with his mask and the way he talked on camera.
He's supposed to look kind of mousy.
He was convincingly mousy, and it didn't work for me.
He's got that kind of.
I wanted him to look creepy, and he didn't look creepy at all. He just looked like a little kid.
Well, like what do you think? Like scars on his face, or
just something? I don't know. He just looked like a baby face, his little round face and his big, huge glasses.
I think that's why they. I don't know. I thought that made sense.
But I wasn't a fan of that.
I would agree with that. I could see someone like that as a lunatic.
Yeah, I enjoyed him as
I don't know.
Riddler. Definitely far more than Jim Carrey, and I love Jim Carrey.
Ooh, nice form.
Definitely better than Jim Carrey. I felt like he was trying to channel Heath Ledger in the interrogation scene with Batman, and I felt like he went overboard, and that was not effective to me.
You mentioned that was kind of a creepy scene.
What's that?
I thought you mentioned in that one scene that was kind of creepy. Whenever the Riddler...
There were different scenes where with Riddler that were very creepy.
I mean, when he has the mess, but you mentioned about that interrogation scene.
That wasn't
whenever
creepy.
He's singing, like when he's singing.
He's singing Ave Maria.
To me, that wasn't creepy to me.
It was like this guy's just kooky.
I was like, you're trying too hard, dude. You're never gonna match Heath Ledger. Just give it up. That's what I felt like.
The best screenshot that there was of him, in my opinion, in that film was when he had made his first kill and he's sitting on top of him and he's like stretching out the duct tape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
this is a creeper right here.
Yeah, he was creepy.
Yeah.
I like that part about it.
I actually like this version of the Riddler. Just more,
Yeah, Jim Carrey's version, I just can't with that one.
No, too cartoony.
With the question marks was a no-go, but this new Riddler and his outfit.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, I didn't even see Amara. I was looking at Hey, Amara. Don't give her whiplash.
She knows who gives her Fruit Loops.
How about a Leslie Nielsen Batman? No way. Gary Oldman played Commissioner Gordon, the Joker, Catwoman, and Batman. That's how good of an actor. Wait, what?
Yeah, he's method. He's method.
He's a method actor for all of them.
Have you seen Yes, I have seen that scene. I like that they. Did you guys see it? That deleted scene?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes long.
I don't think Matt has seen it. Matt's not.
What is it?
Matt's not impressed with the Joker that they showed in the Batman.
I wasn't.
He looked ridiculous.
Don't tell me anything. I haven't seen it.
I think it's more effective that they kept his face blurred in that scene and they didn't show him.
So, but you guys have seen the actual.
I saw the deleted scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Batman is talking with the Joker, trying to get some insight, as to this serial killer, and the way the camera is shot. I mean, the way it's shot and everything, you never fully see the Joker. You see, it's very, what's the word, bokeh? It's very blurred.
Yeah.
In the background, it focuses on other things, and you only just see. You can just see the general outline.
The only positive I have there, like I wasn't impressed with Keoghan's Joker in general.
He wasn't either.
But what I will say is it's interesting that only having, what was that, like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, how long it was, right? In that 3 or 4 minutes of footage, they really established that those two characters had a past. Like without saying too much, you just felt like these two had this interaction with each other in the past, rather than it feeling stale. It felt like there was something of substance between the two of them. And I thought that was good, but I just wasn't impressed with the portrayal of the Joker. Like, I feel like you don't have to always give him scars or facial abnormalities.
Speaking of Joker, the Joker, the movie Joker with Joaquin.
We haven't talked about that much, but he's kind of sort of
sympathetic.
What do you
talking about the new version, right?
The Joker with Joaquin
Phoenix, because he's more like outside of it, despite the fact that it does mention it. He's never had any. There's nothing really to do with Batman other than that one instance he had with him as a kid.
Yeah.
And mainly his interactions were with his dad.
Right.
But the whole ending thing,
he's like Joker adjacent in a sense.
Yeah. It's like a multiverse with him. I don't know. I don't understand if they're going to bring him back in any capacity. I've heard conflicting stories. I've heard it is in the same universe as Pattinson's Batman.
I think it should be.
I've heard he's not the Joker. He's just one who inspired the Joker. And obviously in Pattinson's Batman, we have a different Joker.
Yeah, well, he can't be the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come back at all in any way, but obviously his portrayal of Joker, I don't know. It's tough
his
because
laughter is like a Joker.
it's tough because I loved Heath Ledger's performance, but Joaquin completely knocked it out of the park. They took a character that you're supposed to just typically not like, and they made him very sympathetic, and you could completely understand where he was coming from.
It was like a case study in mental illness.
Yeah.
When you watch it, you're just like, wow, this is. And the thing is that we have so much, especially out here in California, with homelessness anyway. And when it comes to homelessness, 90% of the time it's either mental illness or drug addiction, and it run rampant, and it's something that just can't seem to be controlled. And so when you think about it can't be controlled now, think of how it was supposed to be 30 years ago. It was just put them inside of places, put them in straitjackets, and that was it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Phoenix's Joker, but until it was just brought up. But yeah, after seeing that movie, and to me, it only makes sense to have that Joker in the Batman's universe because they are, I mean, obviously different.
It's supposed to be the same Gotham, from what I heard.
I mean,
the music,
different looks, but
is it the violin that they were playing in a lot of those scenes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was powerful.
Right, the Joker.
Yeah, the violin music that would play in a lot of scenes was just.
Yeah, I know the girl that composed
like
the
it was like
song.
hypnotic. It was like hypnotic in a weird way.
Yeah.
The girl that composed the song actually composed the music for Chernobyl, and she nailed it in the Joker, especially the last scene when he's.
Oh my goodness! When he's the mob is around him and the fire, and he's standing on the car and he takes the blood. That scene gave me chills.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
It was so good, and the way he turned around with his arms out, like wow, just full body chills. It was
like
so
the Darth Vader sort of origin story. Just
kind of, except he was more sympathetic to me than someone like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I feel like my favorite scenes in that movie is whenever he goes to the talk show, and that stuff.
Yeah, it has to be. That was a build up. Like, you know, if you're going to compare like the Batman and Joker, you know, when you're getting to that final NC, the Act 3, you know, the Batman's was, as we say, it was underwhelming, but that scene in the talk show host was, especially Robert De Niro, you get what you deserve.
Yeah, I know. You know, and you could see it was coming. There had been rumors before the movie came out. There had been all these rumors that it was going to be a mass shooting, and that the movie was trashed. They were like, "Oh, this is terrible. It's going to be this mass shooting, and we just can't condone blah blah blah." And it was like, I don't think it's going to be a mass shooting, and it wasn't. He shot the one guy. You know,
but then
because
him sitting there, and
then he sat back down with the look. I know, it was creepy. It was so creepy.
And I thought you could. I remember when I watched it on the big screen. I remember seeing his lip kind of shaking.
Yeah, like he was kind of crying.
I couldn't really see it well, so I didn't. I don't know if there's like some difference between the quality. Like,
yeah, that was.
Simon said Joker copied Martin Scorsese's homework. Well, they already said that movie was going to be heavily influenced by Taxi Driver.
Oh,
yeah.
And of course, Robert De Niro showing up in there. Arturo, are you handling the comments? Because I keep knocking yours off.
You told me you wanted me to do it.
Well, I did, but then I was noticing there were comments coming, and hold on, I didn't see Grimes'.
Then you can do it. Then I'll step back.
No, I mean, you don't have to. I just don't remember seeing some of these. I saw The Joker's a good movie with Batman movies and all the other shows of Joker. It's just hard to picture the character seeking therapy and the like. I think he was done with that.
I don't think he's seeking therapy.
No, not anymore. Especially when he's like smoking that cigarette. He's like, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, there has been talk of a Joker sequel, but I haven't seen it going anywhere, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Jared Leto's worst Joker, for sure.
Definitely in the Suicide Squad.
That was terrible.
At the end of Snyder Cut, I thought he was okay.
Did you see the meme of Darth Maul, and he's holding the lightsaber and it says Jared Leto over Darth Maul, and then it like shoots out in the next scene. It says worst DC movie, and then it like shoots out on the other side worst Marvel character. Because Morbius sucks so bad.
Oh, poor Morbius, poor Jared Leto. I hate Batman. He's rough and coarse, and he gets everywhere. Okay, that's from episode 2. Needed to go all the way to fulfill the Batman lore. Robin Holy Pet Quantum. Pretty sure that was entirely about. Yeah, maybe it was. It's possible, but
I remember the security guards being there on the weekdays. Usually they're on the weekends at the
that's right. I remember you saying that security guards were there, and I went to go see it on preview night, and I remember seeing them there. I may have actually talked to one of them about it. One of the guards. Yeah, it might have been. Because every time I would see him after that, I asked if he ever saw it, and he hadn't seen it yet. But yeah. Really?
No,
okay.
He's gonna return as Batman.
Yeah, he's returning as 89 Batman.
Can we ask the question? Why is he returning as Batman? I'm just curious.
Wait.
The multiverse for the Flash.
That's probably the reason why.
The multiverse of the Flash.
Did they ask Christian Bale to return as Batman? Nope.
Oh my gosh! Have you heard about Ezra Miller's issues?
Yeah, they have delayed that movie again, so I don't know how soon we're going to be seeing Keaton as the Batman.
It's probably gonna be forever. I don't know what the hell's going on with WB and DC movies.
Well, Ezra Miller is getting in a lot of trouble
with Marvel.
What's the word? Populated. There's so much stuff. Like they can't even seem to make a universe like Marvel.
Yeah, we're just now getting Venom into a universe, Spider-Man and
Morbius is
sort of Batman in the Justice League in the Snyder movies. He used guns.
Yeah, everybody was mad about that. Batman doesn't use guns.
No, yes, he has.
I think he originally did use guns.
Yeah.
They're like blast criminals.
Yeah.
You throw bubble gum? Blam.
There was a whole article where it was showing like all the times that Batman has killed people, and one of the most morbid one was it was like this. He was fighting some guy like in the sewers or whatever, and the guy goes in this room and the door falls behind him and it locks shut. And the guy can't get out, and he's like, "I'll just leave him." I was like, "You just let this guy starve to death and die."
Oh my gosh!
In like this crypt, I was like, "Wow."
Well, then there was one in '89 where he dropped he was in his Batmobile and he dropped something with all the Joker minions around the car and it blew up. They counted that as him killing.
Yes, Batman killing people.
Yeah, he killed a lot of people in returns. Like he set that one dude on fire. remember his car? The car turns around. That was terrible.
Yeah, man, he roasted that guy.
What did you say? Even Christian Bale, he's trying to get the girl back to the cave, and the cops are after him, and he drops these spikes, and it blows the car. The cops' cars it throws them off because it blew their wheels, and the cars were just flipping around. You think that would possibly kill the cops?
He attached a grenade to the giant clown and put him down to shoot, and he just blew up.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
That dude's done.
He gone.
One of you guys
he's not going to be in the sequel, as they say.
No need to call his agent.
What do you think about? So we've talked about the suit. We've talked about Bruce Wayne. We've talked about Batman. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about the Batmobile. I think I'll stick with the Batman's Batmobile. I loved his.
That's going to be my favorite.
It seemed the most functional and realistic to me.
Dude, the engine revving in the theater.
Oh, on the big screen, it was it just blew right through you, right?
How did you feel about that one? It was just whoa.
I knew it was going to happen, so I was ready for it. And you could just
the scene in the movie. Yeah, but the only thing is, it did get a little more of that actiony side of it when the trucks and the cars started falling over and blowing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Colin Farrell.
Oh,
he was great.
He was really good in there.
Yeah. The only issue, and it's not. He actually brought this up, and to a degree, I understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, what? Wait, what are we talking about here? The Penguin is. It's almost like the Penguin has to have some kind of cigar, long stem cigarette, or something.
A pipe, like the little
pipe, or something.
The long cigarettes.
And Colin was for the longest time trying to get them to let him use that, but they weren't having it.
They wanted to go that serious route.
Have kids seeing this as being a cool thing, which I totally understand that. On the flip side, if you've seen Colin Farrell in this movie, and if a kid sees that guy and is like, I want to pick up smoking, you probably need to have a real conversation with your kid. That's not somebody you want to be looking up to, because that dude looks really, really bad. But that was my only gripe with Colin Farrell as the Riddler, or as the Penguin. I thought he did an awesome job. It just, when you first see him, it would have been nice to just a cigar or something to really.
I think a cigar over the traditional long-stemmed plastic,
cigar,
well, he didn't have a cigar. He had a long-stemmed cigarette.
Yeah, it was like a cigarette with the plastic thing on the end.
Yeah, but I think a cigar probably would have been a nice addition to it.
Outside of that, I thought he did a really good job.
I quote him all the time now. Like, I swear, like somebody says something, I'm like, "Take it easy, sweetheart."
Yeah,
I say it all the time. Like Mary will do something like, "Take it easy, sweetheart."
Oh,
she has no idea what I'm doing.
I feel like he would play a good Al Capone.
And then that one scene where it's like he's chasing, he's like, I got you. And then all of a sudden he shoots out. He's like,
I did like that scene.
I was glad we did get to see him walk like a penguin at some point.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
I feel like he's the more real. Like if he would be more the realistic sort of like.
I liked his portrayal. Yeah, better than like what we saw in the Adam West shows and movies. I like the way they made Colin Farrell. I think it was convincing to me. I get why they called him the Penguin, because he had a gimpy walk. It wasn't because he looked like a penguin like Danny DeVito. I wasn't crazy about Danny DeVito's penguin because he was
even though that's what he would look like in the comic.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's doing it like this, right? But yet the shadow puppet's on the ceiling and you can see it. And I was like, where's the backlight coming from his chest?
Right.
From his chest.
To make that.
But my favorite line in that that he delivers in that movie is, "Could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood." He bites that guy. He bites the guy. And the blood just like squirts out. So disgusting.
He was gross. He was
was nasty. He comes in like in his pajamas and he's just like eating a dead fish.
Oh yeah, eating a dead fish. Coming down, and then
black nastiness all out of his mouth is so nasty.
Oh man,
I agree. I think Matt Reeves' version of the Penguin would be vaping.
Oh my god.
So what about Batman tech? What's your favorite Batman tech?
Man, I mean, I think Christopher Nolan's Batman, like they really
realistic military.
It was realistic.
They give you the breakdown. You look at even
the Batman is kind of the same thing too, realistic.
Yeah, from an aesthetic standpoint, I am not a fan of the Nolan series. I think the Tumbler looks cool, but it just doesn't tell me that that's a Batmobile outside of it's painted black. And
it's
even
a military vehicle.
Yeah, it's like it. It seems like it could be on Terminator.
Yeah, it was a military vehicle. That was how it was described, I think.
Right, but and then when was the last in the series the
plane.
I don't even think it's called a Batwing.
Helicopter thing.
It was like a hover plane.
Yeah, hover machine. Yeah, another military thing.
That thing looked horrible. That it had functionality. I'll give you that, but from an aesthetic standpoint, I'm like, no.
The only time it looked cool was when they chasing him, and he went into the dark alley, and when they came through it, all the lights just illuminated.
That was
and I was like, all right, that looked cool. But other than that, I wasn't a fan of the.
And then the bat pod, it's a cool concept, but as a guy that's been riding motorcycles for almost 20 years now, you are not going anywhere. You try taking a corner 60 miles an hour in that position, you are going to roll over, and it won't be like a dog out of the water. It's going to be very painful. And I will say the Batman, that bat cycle, even though it's got a fat rear end on it, which is not intuitive for, especially in the city riding, that bike is awesome. The engine they use is the BMW parallel twin. Definitely aesthetically fits it to the T.
Just not functional.
I would say it's more functional than the Bat Pod. Again, you're not going to be, and I've seen there's actual people who've created that and have actually made that Bat Pod an actual riding thing. But again, just as somebody that's ridden before, you're not going to be going too fast. You're not going to be doing any kind of turns. You'll look cool, but you're not going to be.
That's the whole reason they gave it such fat wheels and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that just makes it, hard. But again, I do like the functionality. That chase scene was brutal and awesome. And I would probably say that might be the best chase scene out of.
Which chase scene are you talking about?
The one where with the Joker, where he's following through the
he's going to the street. Yeah.
And Joker ends up like standing in the middle of the street, telling him, okay.
Yeah. And then
I like the homage to 89 Batman there, because instead of it being the plane coming down shooting at him, Batman's on the bike shooting at him. Exactly. And of course he misses. He misses. And of course in Batman 89 he crashes his plane. And then in Batman the Dark Knight he crashes his bike. So I love that they did juxtapose those two different those scenes. I thought it was pretty clever that they made that kind of connection.
Just the amount of damage, and I like my comics to have some kind of as much as you possibly can based in reality. It jumping from rooftop to rooftop was fantastical, but they give you the military background for it.
Yeah.
And the winglets that it has, and just to be able to take a rocket launcher and stuff like that, and for it to go into its mode of going into the Bat Pod and then destroying itself, which I always thought about those homeless people that were around the damn thing. I was like, I hope those homeless people got away. They go back
when he's driving and he's blowing up the cars, I was like, what if somebody was sleeping in the car?
Exactly.
He said, all right, nobody gonna get my technology, but all you homeless people, they get the hell away from it. I'm about to take this thing off.
Well, I still like Commissioner Gordon's scene inside the Batman.
He's like in the
gotta get me one of these. What about when he's like, I gotta get me one of these?
So one of the techs that I actually really dug was the optical camera.
Yes.
For some reason, that I don't know why that struck me so much, but as Timothy was saying, when we were talking about it, you're like, now we know why he looks so hard at a crime scene. And so then he comes to his little bat cave, and
he's like, he would just be slowly moving his head
really
around,
analyzing everything.
And it makes sense for him to retain that information. It helps out for him in retaining that information by recording everything. I thought that was very, very
also
clever.
really, really good to have like a butler that loves crosswords.
Well, the oh yeah.
What was it?
Best Alfred.
Oh, it's Michael Caine. Michael Caine. You trusted me.
That's rough. I actually really liked. I really like Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons was good.
I really liked him.
I felt.
Wait, is he the first one?
No, he was the one in Snyder Cut. And
he was good. I liked him.
I liked him because he was snarky, and yet he was really smart. He was all into the tech. He was almost like a Lucius Fox type of character, except it was Alfred.
I can't have my Alfred's got to be 50 plus. They got to be getting close to the
he was
he's like probably 60.
He's like silver fox.
Hold on.
I know Jeremy Irons is older than 50. I know that.
He's 50 plus.
I know that. But in actor world, he looks like he's 40 years old in that movie.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he's walking around. He looks like he's about to go to the country club. Like he's about to go.
Hey, bro, I'm 40,
Yeah,
man.
y'all, we're going to go hunting now. Right.
I'm a terrible judge of age, but he does not look like he's 40.
No, he doesn't look like he's 40.
Silver Fox. I need Michael Caine to be old and on your way out of retirement, but now I got to watch Bruce Wayne's ass because he's about to go crazy. And you need a father figure. So now I got to step back out of retirement and get more gray hair.
What did you guys think of?
So the thing is, we go back to 89 Batman, okay? And you have that Alfred. This Alfred is, dude, he's got one foot in the casket, one on the banana peel. But at the same time, in Batman and Robin's like, I've downloaded my cerebral brain into a computer. I'm like,
oh gosh.
Hold on. Hold on.
I just for the record, I don't consider Batman and Robin, but I think that was an android model of that Butler, or the guy that played the Butler in
the movie
Batman
was
and
so
Robin.
bad. I think that's why he just gave up on life, because that was it, right? Wasn't that his last movie?
Yeah, he died.
I think that movie killed him.
I
think, yeah, that's the crime. Batman and
Michael
Robin.
Michael Caine is my Alfred. That's
mine too. I would say Michael Caine's my favorite Alfred.
I
know he brought more of a dynamic to it, and they had this Reddit thing, and they're talking about Michael Caine, and they said plot twist. It turns out that Michael Caine was actually had an affair with Bruce Wayne's mother, and that's actually his son. That's why he cared for him so much. And I thought that would have been a really cool flip.
Oh, that would have been terrible. That would have been terrible.
No, that'd been great. That's why he loved him so much. It was his son.
Oh, that is a good point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I get the Michael Caine love. I really do. There's something. I guess I just like the way Jeremy Irons played him. I bet it's tight. It's tight between them.
Yeah, I don't really have a preference personally.
No, because you know what? At the same time, the thing about Michael Caine, his Alfred, he's done some shit, because he literally was talking about how he was in Afghanistan. He'd been fighting and killing people. I was like, this is.
Oh yeah,
he's done some stuff.
He's done some stuff. You know that he has. Yeah.
Some people just like to watch the world.
About that life.
He knows.
He's about that life. That's what we like. He's about that life.
That's right. That's true. Alfred let the reporter in the Batman secret lair in '89.
I know.
What a terrible
He's a sucker for a blonde.
World.
I've just made you some food, sir. I'll get takeout. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
That was like the worst. I hated that line where it was like it was Batman Forever when he's like, I've just made you food, sir. And then Val Kilmer's like, I'll get drive through.
Like, oh, jeez. Arturo, you never told us what your favorite Batman movie. We got 3 for the Dark Knight.
I mentioned
one loser for the 89
okay,
Batman.
well, without counting Batman and Robin, obviously.
No.
But when it comes to 89 and the Dark Knight trilogy, and then the Batman, they're good in their own way, I guess.
There's got to be a winner.
You got to pick Arturo.
I don't
making up his mind about stuff sometimes.
I appreciate you giving respect.
I'm like the middleman.
Let's let the pacifist make his decision. They're all good in their own way.
Thank you.
That's actually what Kevin Conroy said
Yeah.
about the different Batman when he came to our con, and I went to his panel, and he was talking about all the different Batman. And he was saying, they're all good in their own way. Even George Clooney, he was like being so sweet about it.
Geez.
And people were just wanting to no. But he didn't want to badmouth anybody.
It's because he's a class act.
He is.
Yeah.
I really like him.
I'm going to speak the truth. And no.
So you can't decide, Arturo.
Because
which is like number one.
There's pros and cons to all of them.
Well, of course, but which one? There's still got to be a winner. Is
there a winner?
I don't really have
it doesn't have to be decisive.
I don't have a specific favorite of mine. 89's a nostalgic trope.
Okay,
so Dark Knight is
this is how we parse it down. You'd say basically you have one Batman movie you have to watch every day until infinity. Which one would you have to sit down and watch?
But I don't watch them all at the time.
No, he said if you're in that situation, which one would
you basically your DVD player, your TV's broken, and all it picks up is one Batman movie. Which one is it going to be that you're going to be like, all right, I'll sit through this one over and over?
Oh geez!
I'm telling you, I don't really have like.
Oh my goodness!
You're gonna have to reschedule.
No, like this is the one time I have to say I don't have.
Postpone this meeting.
Oh, you have to pick. He doesn't want to be the one to pick, but still, Corey, you're outnumbered. We won this one. We won this one. The Battle of the Batmans is that the Dark Knight wins, hands down.
The world has spoken. The world has spoken.
Yeah, the world spoke.
Batman has been around for way longer. And
there you go.
Way more money.
That's a voter. He loses the Michael Myers mask. I like that. He said Arthur should go in politics. I agree. Arthur doesn't know
people pleaser all around.
Right.
I will raise the lowering of taxes.
I would.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Man, I've made my point, and I'm going to stay with it. The second, as a matter of fact, since the end of this conversation, the Batman has now catapulted into the second greatest
of course
of all time.
Please.
There you go. Please. That I am a fair individual, and that I am seeing things unlike y'all with your clouded.
You know what, Tim? I know one way to settle this.
Marvel versus Capcom.
And I used my toes.
Oh, a toe battle.
You know what?
Remember that time?
I beat you with my one time.
Toes.
Cheated.
I used my toes on the controller and beat you.
You cheated because I believe your other toe unplugged my controller. That's just what I remember. That's just
I wish I could have seen that.
And after it was all done, it was nothing but like feet and toe puns. It was like, oh, Corey sure does know defeat. He totally lost.
Just remember that prior to that defeat, I won 20 games in a row. You can go ask Lewis, because all of y'all were stepping up with the quarters, trying to beat me, and you couldn't do it until Matty had to get his feet involved. Bo, sit down.
Oh my gosh.
Be quiet.
I think you're riling your dog up.
I think he's concerned, Corey.
I think Bo is trying to say that the Dark Knight's better.
No.
Yeah.
Bo,
yeah, he's chiming in.
Bo knows.
Bo does not count.
Bo knows. Bo does know. Bo does know.
No.
What is going on in your house, Corey?
He's got to go.
My light bulb's about to go out.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like.
Is it one of those rods?
It's one of those. No, it's just in one of those recessed ones. So I'm gonna have to.
Oh, those are a pain in the butt to change.
Yeah, I gotta go up into the into the attic and remove a bolt and all this other. Shut up! He just wants to go outside and do his business and smell every blade of grass that's been done pissed on for the last.
Poor dog. He's been crying for how long?
Days.
Hey, are you working? Are you working from home mostly now?
Yeah, but they did open up the office, so I technically I should be in the office, but the office is right down the road from the house. It's less than a mile, so.
This poor dog.
Making all the damn noise. You already done peed and poop yesterday.
Oh, poor thing.
I'm just kidding. He goes out like 3 times. He old as hell. He don't need to be going. Go sit your
What if he goes in your house?
Huh?
What if he goes in your house?
Oh, well, he ain't gonna have a house. That's what happens. You know better than that. We don't play those games around here.
Oh my god.
No sir, Bob Joe. Not going to happen. So I think we've already done.
Really silly.
Like best of the
We've already done.
We haven't really had another. I don't think we had a poison ivy in a while. The only one was the bad one.
We don't need another one.
She could actually.
The Uma Thurman ruined it.
No, I feel like her character could be given justice, but I don't like how Uma Thurman played it. No,
I know this ain't like a live action movie, but I feel like the Long Halloween's really good.
I have yet to actually read that one, so I don't know.
I thought there were elements from the Long Halloween in.
Yeah, there is. Like in the Batman, they reference how is it Falcone, right?
Falcone
was saved by his dad. They show that in the Long Halloween.
And they also make references to the relationship between Falcone and Catwoman.
And I actually liked Catwoman in the Long Halloween. She wasn't annoying. She was actually likable.
I haven't seen that yet. We've got that on Vudu, don't we, Tim? Do we have that? The Long Halloween?
I still
I think you
do. I saw the animated.
I don't know. I think I
saw that one.
I haven't watched Under the Red Hood, but I still really enjoy the. I mean, people talk about it. I haven't seen it, but I like the Mask of the Phantasm. That was one of my favorites.
That was very good. I like that. I didn't like For Under the Red Hood and also didn't like The Killing Joke.
I thought The Killing Joke was good.
I didn't like it. I was like at the end when he started laughing at the Joker.
Well, that was a little bit weird.
That's dumb. I didn't like that at all.
Was that Frank? Who wrote that? Alan Moore?
I don't know.
Who wrote The Killing Joke? The Killing Joke, was that Alan Moore?
I don't. Maybe.
I don't remember
now. I think Long Halloween is probably like the best as of late.
But what's the?
It came out last year, and it was where the Joker. What was the
Alan Moore, Matt?
You're talking about the one where his face is sewn on.
Yeah, I think that to me looks like the Joker that's in the Batman. That's especially if you haven't seen that extended footage, but you see a little bit more of his face, and it looks disfigured to the point where it looks like that Joker where he has that sewn on face.
Yeah, that's weird. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get a chance, you should see that extra footage. Or it just.
I think it was.
I haven't been keeping up with what's been going on in the comic books, so I don't even know where that character is. I know that Greg Capullo has been drawing a lot of Batman.
Yeah, I just remember seeing. I think it's probably a 10-year-old storyline, or older than that. But I just remember seeing through many different outlets on social media this Joker that had like this. I mean, he looked like Leatherface almost, but obviously with green hair and red, lips. And that to me, when you see the additional footage, you get just a slightly more visible look of this guy that's supposed to be the Joker. And even in the Batman, I mean, I could just see the outline of his disfigured mouth, and I was like, man, that's I mean, obviously with the laughing and his demeanor, you could tell that was the Joker. But when you see that extra footage, it's like, man, I wonder if that's. And I don't know what that storyline is, but that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, to be honest with you.
We only had he says, do you guys have a favorite Robin? But I think
we haven't had many Robins.
We only had one Robin, and I realized we only had one Scarecrow.
We've had two Robins for sure. The one from the Adam West Batman, and also Robin from the other from the.
You had Joseph Gordon. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was supposed to.
Right, I was going to mention him, but he wasn't.
But it was almost like.
Honestly, I would pick him because I don't really care for the other two. I can't pick between the other two. I don't
we only got Scarecrow once, and that was in the Dark Knight trilogy, which I would say he's a good Scarecrow.
Yeah, I liked his. I thought the mask was good. The costume design, I guess you could say, was
when he got his own toxin on him, and the Batman had that like demon face.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool, especially with like the tar coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I never really cared for much.
Batman versus Michael Myers.
Batman wins every time.
Batman wins everything if he has time to prep.
Yeah, time
right.
Yeah.
Batman. Michael, he's just
Michael Myers.
I would say Michael Myers because he's unkillable, for goodness sake.
Well, no, not if you don't count any of like the supernatural tropes.
Yeah, but they're turning everything into the supernatural stuff now.
Kills was so disappointing.
Oh gosh, I just okay.
It's like, what the heck?
He meant the Robins in the comics. Oh,
do you guys watch the
Well, it's definitely not.
I don't know
the Teen Titans show.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Probably Tim Drake would be my favorite Robin.
He was a good
Robin.
No, that was Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. Okay.
Well, yeah, they have both of them. I think Tim Drake and Jason Todd are both in that series, and they do a pretty good job as playing those. And again, if you guys have not seen the Teen Titans, it's definitely more of a mature take on that on that group of characters. A lot more blood. It's
more, I feel like that was it could get dark at points. I remember.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're about to start the third season, I think now.
Of which one?
Are you talking about Titans? Just Titans?
Yeah, sorry, Titans.
Okay, because when you were saying Teen Titans, I was thinking about the cartoon.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Titans. I just watched the first season of Doom Patrol.
I haven't seen Doom Patrol, and I need to watch that as well. But yeah, I've seen, I think, both seasons of Titans, and the guy that plays Robin, and as a matter of fact,
I like him as Robin.
He doesn't.
Who plays Robin in there?
It's not really well known.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, but he as Robin, he's good as I'm not sure, Tim, if he's Tim Drake or if he's
supposed to be the original, so he would be Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson, yeah, that's right, yeah, because he's Nightwing at the second season.
In the second season, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do, and of course they have
Thanks for joining.
They don't have Tim Drake, but they have what's his face?
The other one. There's like three of them.
Oh, right. The one that who is the one that becomes Red Hood? They kill off.
I thought that was Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. There you go. That's who it is. And it's funny because DC put out a because everyone hated Jason Todd as Robin.
He's the one that gets killed.
Yeah, and so they recently killed him
to death by a crowbar.
Yeah, Joker killed him, right?
So they so they had a DC funded poll where basically you buy a vote for $1, and they were going to take all the money that they raised for these tickets, and it was overwhelming that he be killed off. And it was one guy spent $1 million to buy 1 million votes to kill him because he hated him so much. What? It was yeah. And so anyway, they kill him off, and then sure enough, they bring him back.
Oh, of course, of course.
No one stays dead. No one stays dead.
Did that guy get his money back?
I don't know. I would have been like, hey. And they're like, well, he's Red Hood now, so.
So in the Red Hood in the cartoon, that was Jensen Ackles.
Yes, I didn't know he voiced him.
I'm surprised you hadn't seen it yet. I guess I thought you had seen it.
Just haven't. I'm looking forward to seeing him as Soldier Boy though, in the.
Oh yeah, 3. Yeah, that's coming up soon, right? This summer, right?
June. Yeah, I can think of June.
Oh my gosh, just a couple months.
That?
The Boys.
The Boys, season 3.
Oh man, love that series. So good.
That show's hilarious.
It's
diabolical. It's diabolical.
It's diabolical.
Diabolical. I love that show. Yeah.
Hey, listen here, Yui.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. June 3rd, Simon says it's coming June 3rd. So early June. We don't have to wait. Mm-hmm. So by the time you get out here,
just all of May. Just all of May, and we'll be there.
Well, I got to catch up
because we're halfway. You're so behind, Arturo.
I watched whenever Timothy was down.
You only watched the first season. Did you see the whole season at all?
I saw the first season, not second season, not all the way. I saw 2, 3, 4 episodes.
Did you even? Because we finished watching it in California.
Your son is depressing me.
I know.
I'm
so sad.
I apologize.
Can't make up his mind on which Batman is his favorite. Doesn't watch everything.
Here we go.
The guy who's got the most time out of everybody.
Right.
I'm a busy man. What are you talking about? I edit every day.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't think of any more Batman topics. We've covered detective, tech, villain, Batmobile suit, best Bruce Wayne, best Batman.
Catwoman. Let's see here. Definitely Halle Berry loses. Halle Berry's Bat. No, that's horrible. That one's gone.
Yeah.
That one's done.
Yeah, no, I don't even count her.
Wait, you?
Catwoman. Yeah, we're not going to count her at all.
That movie was such hot garbage.
Yeah.
It really was.
Oh,
yeah, that.
It all became clear to him.
There have been we've got
first I didn't know what you guys were talking
Anne
about.
Hathaway. We've had Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt, you had that.
Was it Julie Newmar or somebody else?
Newmar,
from the back, and then we had Michelle Pfeiffer, and then we had
Zoe.
What's
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. That's right.
Wait, wasn't there only? Oh, never mind. Yeah, is that about like 4 cat?
I think that was 5.
Wait.
I know there was one from the Gotham series, which I never watched that, but there was.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm including the Batman from the 60s is because they did make movies.
Right.
About that. So I don't know about any of those other.
Yeah. And I thought Zoe Kravitz, I think it's aesthetically, she's got kind of Michelle Pfeiffer in the eyes. But I think Zoe Kravitz, especially when she puts on that mask and it focuses in on her eyes. Maybe it's the makeup as well, but I think from a character design, she definitely fits the bill. And then the motorcycle thing is, I mean, she's bringing her cat with her. That's just major brownie point.
Oh yeah.
You roll with your cat. God knows I wish I could ride with Bo, but you can't fit a 155-pound dog.
Right.
So
Zoe Kravitz is your favorite Catwoman?
Nah, I would go still Michelle Pfeiffer.
I think I would.
89 is burnt into his bones. That
was 92.
That was 92.
I'm sorry. Just straight up Tim Burton burned into his bones.
I think I do prefer her as Catwoman, but
she just had a lot of pizzazz to her character when she was on screen, no matter what. Like there was a lot of she commanded presence when she was on the screen.
She just
in every scene. Now with Zoe, she was there, but you could still tell she played second fiddle to Pattinson as Batman on each scene. Yeah, but yeah. When Michelle Pfeiffer was on the screen, it was like, hey, Batman, all eyes on her, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
She was like very feline-y and sneaky.
I mean,
Zoe Kravitz
really
she didn't exude that.
No,
I don't think.
But I know the other Catwoman's had some uniqueness, like the one from The Dark Knight Rises when she pulled what were those things that she had?
Oh, her
when she moved them, it looked like cat ears.
I thought that was very
cool. That was an interesting design for sure.
Yeah,
but I didn't like it the way in the role. I didn't like Catwoman at all.
Yeah, literally, she was like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I think as far as
I just didn't like her character. Annoyed me.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't mesh with her very well. I liked Eartha Kitt's Catwoman.
I was just about to say, I think her sound, just the way that she sounds.
Yeah,
she sounded that way when she talked. Normally,
yeah, like it was almost like she was born to
play that
right
person.
Right.
So it's almost like and I think if Michelle Pfeiffer tried to go that route, and that's something I give her credit for too, because you could tell that there was almost like 2 different characters when she was playing. Like she had a lot more confidence as Catwoman, and then when she was Max Schreck's secretary, she's basically like a shove around character. Nobody that was you could bully them around this essentially.
That's Batcave.
Yeah, forgot about that one.
Matt, do not tell me Ben Affleck's flipping glass house of.
No, I didn't think so.
It's not even a cave. That's like a Better Homes new like I like the new age streamlined look.
Okay.
And sharp
angles. Yeah, what is
I have something to tie on regarding the Batcave in general.
Okay.
But he has these elaborate Batcaves, okay, and we know that he's a man of many trades, but to build one of these things does take a lot of heavy machinery.
Yeah.
So who's building it and who's not talking?
Right?
Well, if Tony Stark's got the daggum machine with the robot arm, I think Bruce Wayne is just as much of a money maker. He can hire some silent help.
Yeah. Or he's killing them all. Those are the ones that we don't see.
It's just like the people that made the temple or made the pyramids back in the day.
I feel like
Christian
Bale.
He buried him in the walls like the Great Wall of China.
Don't worry about that guy. He was just a great mason.
What were you saying, Arturo? Christian Bale.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, the Dark Knight trilogy. Well, Batman Begins and the Batman were more the realistic Bat Cave, you know, or at least Batman Begins. I would say.
I like Batman.
So
it didn't take much architecture to like, you know, because
it was like the catacomb, the catacomb areas of his mansion.
Underneath the mansion, I personally feel like just from a functional standpoint that the Batcave in the Batman movie was the best. It made complete sense. It's right underneath Wayne Towers. Everything's all built in there. So
it's like a tunnel, isn't it? It's like a tunnel.
He went there through like some underground thing, and it was right underneath Wayne Towers. So I was like, "Oh,
that makes but even in the Dark Knight, wasn't it the Dark Knight? He had remember he went to that shipping container that was just stored on the outskirts of town, and then it lowered itself. I thought that was kind of cool. It's just this underground area that was set up.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was one of the cooler setups they had for the Nolan verse.
What about you, Matt? You have a specific preference for a Batcave?
I think probably the one from the Batman movie.
Yeah,
is the best one.
Yeah, that would be mine.
But you know, he has like multiple ones all over the place. It's not like he has just one of them.
Well, I always thought the '89 one was like that sort of staged thing. Like, like what Timothy was saying, you would have to design that place just to get it to where you can move all his equipment and stuff.
The worst Batman, Steve Buscemi. I'm taking that right there.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to say that kid who plays in Zombieland, he'd be pretty bad. But Steve Buscemi, if you could pick anyone to play any role from any era, who would your lineup be? Oh, geez.
Like
any role from any era? You mean in any era in Batman?
Maybe they're trying to say if you could pick any Batman and then pick any Joker and pick maybe that's what it's going for. So would you have Ben Affleck going up against Jack? Yeah, would you have Ben Affleck and Jack Nicholson be together as Batman and the Joker?
I think he just means anyone to play any role. I don't know. You know what? I don't think we've ever had the perfect Batman, and I can't think in my mind who that would be. To be
sorry,
Henry Cavill.
I have no idea.
Henry Cavill
as Batman.
Batman.
I could see him as Batman. I like him as Superman. I could see him as Batman.
I like him as Superman. I don't like him as Batman.
I'm trying to think of someone.
He's the best Superman, by the way.
Yes, he is the best Superman, hands down. Don't even try.
And despite the nostalgia that I have with the Donner films, I really, really, really like him.
I can't even watch those movies.
He's perfect.
Man of Steel is just—it's a phenomenal movie.
Perfect in the role.
I mean, there's a couple things that the movie kind of misses the mark on, which is I think one of them was comparing the 1978 Richard Donner version to the Man of Steel would be, you know, that there's that scene where they both obviously lose their dad, right? Because that's just how the story goes. But they had this big dramatic thing in Man of Steel where he loses his dad to a tornado and he doesn't do anything, but he had the power to save him. But his dad's like, "Oh, don't do it," you know, because the world's not ready. And that was all fine and well at the time. But as I thought about it longer, when you think about the original, his dad just died of like a straight up heart attack, you know. And then his takeaway was, wow, with all these powers, I couldn't save him. And so even if that was the case in Man of Steel, I wish if they'd gone back, that would just be the way his dad dies, for him to really, really be solidified that despite having all these powers, there are some things that he can't stop no matter what.
Right.
And the thing is in Man of Steel, he could have. He just didn't. Right. And he just made that, in a sense, a sacrifice, which everyone makes sacrifices through life going on, but sometimes there's just things these things you can't do. And then knowing your limitations. I think that was kind of a better message than just this, it's a dramatic, event. And like I said, in the time watching it, I did feel that dramatic. But as time went on, I was like, you know what? I think his dad should have just died, and he just learned that lesson from the get-go.
Yeah.
But still, Man of Steel is a phenomenal movie. I love it.
People complain when he spoil.
I know. I don't know. That's just a stupid throwaway. He killed Zod. And what was he? Yeah, but what was he supposed to do? Have him kill a whole family? That's so dumb.
Yeah, right. That was dumb. People were upset about that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I think what they wanted to do was they just didn't want that whole scene written that way, where he would have to choose.
Well, you have to choose.
Yeah.
But going back to the part where his dad died, the reason they wrote it that way in that movie was because it was like hinting at the larger conflict he has down the road with how much should he intervene with humanity.
But I
That's
think
why they had that with his dad. His dad died that way.
Yeah, and
because
I think
later on he decides, I'm going to intervene. I'm going to do things. I'm going to become active in the world.
And I'm fine with that because they already talked about it with the school bus full of kids that he had saved. And his dad that was actually kind of a when you watch that scene again, he's like, what should I do? Should I just let him die? And Kevin Costner's like, maybe. And it was like, whoa, like a whole bus full of kids, you're just willing to let them just go, and that I said, having that scene and then going forward, yeah, like I get it. But again, I like the other aspect of just the traditional, hey, he died with, there's nothing you can do, buddy, nothing.
Yeah.
What do you think would have been? What's the best betrayal of when Bruce Wayne's parents died?
They all died the same way, pretty much.
I do think that the young man, when he's having that conversation in the Christopher Nolan one, that's a pretty strong. Where he tells them to, he says, "Don't be afraid," or "It's okay to be afraid," or something like that.
Oh, you mean that death scene?
If we're trying to be nitpicky, I think that one to me might be my favorite one. Although I do think the eeriness, and this is why I think
here we go.
One, the eeriness.
More like
I know this Jack Napier is the one that kills them. They're trying to make the movie and tie things in together. Okay, it's Hollywood. It's flipping Hollywood. All right, that's how they do things.
Well, I like the way they did the montage in Batman versus Superman of how he died.
Then there's the Joker.
But now with the Batman versus Superman, I'm trying to because obviously we've seen the Waynes die so many times. Which one was it where the gun is wrapped around the
pearls? That was Batman versus Superman.
Okay, so when that happened, I was like, that's just weird how it would get underneath the necklace like that. For that, it was kind of cool how it happened, but at the same fact, I was like, that was
her pearls always end up getting messed up.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got to literally put the gun at her, get it underneath the necklace, and then fire for that to happen.
Those two actors.
I don't think I know from The Walking Dead.
From The Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What was it?
The girl from The Walking Dead and the guy. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and I forget her name. They both play in The Walking Dead.
They did a meme with that. Like, how Negan's doing eeny, meeny, miny. They made it where, I guess, to pick his wife. And
Jay Leno.
Like years later.
I see him as the Crimson Chin.
Or the Tick.
Yeah, the Tick.
Yeah, the Tick.
Everyone would know his secret identity.
Wayne does know his Playbill and Pearl scenes. Yep.
I mean, I thought the Joker one was pretty good because, obviously they would get killed because of the rioting that was happening, and just one of the thugs that see them pass by and they know who they are.
And that's getting ready to happen.
But then again, that's just bad judgment. There's a riot going on. Why would you go to a play?
Why'd you even go to see a movie? What the world? What in the world's wrong with you? And then a movie in the middle of the slums of the city?
You have to realize the riot probably started when they were in the movie.
But they knew it was building.
They knew it was building.
It had been building for a while, so that was kind of silly.
Yeah,
I do agree.
Billionaire philanthropist doesn't connect with normal people.
Matt's tired. He's got to get up early and go home tomorrow.
I got to go walk his dog, so he stopped.
So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you to everybody who joined. This was really fun. Worst joke or Joe Rogan. Okay, yeah. This was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll do other thematic type of discussions like this again.
And Corey McClammy will join us.
Thank you so much for the comedy entertainment for tonight, Corey.
Thank you for hearing me out and for agreeing with me that 89
No. Nobody agrees with you.
6K modem kicking in.
Hey, next time we talk.